Hello everyone, Josh here with Enemy Impact, bringing you guys some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this box set review or not. Usually I like to do these live, but I didn't want to take too much time because I did have other things I need to get done today. So this one won't be as long as I usually do, but we're going to try and get through them. As you guys can tell, we have all these main boxes here. And we have, of course, the mini boxes. We've got the structure decks, and we got the two selection boxes. So, oh my goodness, so many. We've went through all of them here on the channel. But now we have the new one, which we leaked a couple of days ago. Actually, it was Crusaders Battlegrounds. Now, once you get these leaks, usually Konami follows it up within a day or two. This wasn't even 24 hours after the leaks. This was literally like 12, 13 hours after the leaked video when Konami just went ahead and released this officially in the game. So yeah, when you guys get leaks, don't expect it to take more than a couple days before Konami to give us an official release date, which will be, of course, Monday. So yeah, two selection boxes, a mini box, and a big box within a 4-week period. Wow. I told you guys this was coming. But anyways, enough of that. It is coming. It'll be here on Monday. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the cards that are in here, if any of them are worth going in for. And instead of doing my usual 5-star rating, on each card, I'm just going to give you like my overall rating of the box, and we'll talk about a couple of the interesting ones more than others, and that's basically how we'll do it here. So let's go ahead and just grab the first UR on the list, which is Silent Swordsman level 7. Now, we are not going to talk about the rares or the normal rarity cards in this box set because I'm trying to save time, so we're just only going to go over the URs and the SRs today, so hope you guys do understand that. Anyway, Silent Swordsman level 7. Of course, it's a level 7 monster. Light attribute, warrior effect, 2800 attack, 1000 defense. Cannot be normal summoned, set, must be special summoned by Silent Swordsman level 5, which is also in this box, and cannot be special summoned by other ways, negate all spell effects on the field. Now, the negating all the spell effects on the field is great, but we already have a few cards in the game that can already do that, and it can be summoned easier than this. And they're not even in the meta right now. So the fact that Silent Swordsman level 7 is coming doesn't really change much of anything. I mean, it's a cool card. It's got a cool little gimmick, but it's just too slow for this meta. It's too slow for the game. It's not really a great UR. Honestly, guys, I would not try to chase this card unless you're just a like hardcore whale collector. Otherwise, this card's really not something that you really need to chase after. You know, maybe try and pick up one copy for collection, but don't try to go after 2 or 3 guys. It's just not going to be worth it, honestly, in this current meta, or even really in the foreseeable future. It's just too slow. Yes, it does have a good effect, but like I said, there's already cards in the game that have that type of shutdowns for spells, and they're still not meta in the game, even though they're easier to be summoned than this. So, I mean, he's a good 2800 beat stick, but, I mean, you guys know what I mean. He's still susceptible to all the traps and all the other card effects, stuff like that. So, I mean, just not great. Now, our next UR, Noble Knight Medrad. I hope I said that right. 4-star light attribute again. Warrior effects, 1700 attack, 1000 defense. Bear with me, there's a lot of card information here. This card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field, which is interesting because then you could use certain cards like Creature Caesar and stuff like that, which is pretty interesting. While equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell card, this card becomes an effect monster with this effect. This card becomes dark, and its level is increased by 1, which would be pretty cool for a beatdown skill. Once per turn, if you control no other monsters, you can special summon 1 Noble Knight monster from your deck in defense position, except Noble Knight Medrad, and if you do, destroy 1 equipped spell card you control. So, I mean, it's a cool little gimmick. At the end of the day, his stats are pretty whack. They're not that great. 1700 beat stick isn't really going to get you far in the game right now in this current meta, especially if you're trying to take on Sylvans and they set a Komashrumo at 2k attack, I mean, or 2k defense. I mean, you're not going to really be able to do much with that. Now, I mean, the swarming potential is there, but you do need, of course, this card on the field plus another card, which would be the equipped spell card, you know, a Noble Arms equipped spell card to get the combo off. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work for a little bit of effort. Like, it's a lot of effort. I'm sorry, a lot of effort for little reward. Like, I don't know. I just don't see it being that great, honestly. And the fact that it makes you destroy your own spell card and all that good stuff if you do try to do the swarming or the special summoning, whatever. I don't know. I'm still not really feeling it. Then again, I've never really played Noble Knights, the archetype, so maybe it is pretty good. I don't know. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section. Now, this card is probably one of the better URs. I think there's only like really 2 really solid URs coming out of this box set, and this is honestly one of them. Now, what this card can do, because I already read some of these cards, you know, before I did this video, and being able to special summon this guy easily just by having 1 6am on the field is super good. I know his defense is really, really whack, and his attack's only a 2100 for single tribute, which ain't that high, but he's going to be an easy 2100 beat stick to bring out. Plus, if he's destroyed by a card effect, he can recycle himself from the graveyard, and then you can use him to special summon again and again and again if you're able to keep getting destroyed only by card effects. Now, of course, he is going to be weak against Econ. Econ takes stuff like that, but what cards, you know, there's not very many cards in the game that aren't weak to Econ, so that's kind of a null and void point right there. But such a great card. Like, honestly, this is probably one of the by far one of the better URs. Actually, this is a card that you could actually try to go after 2 copies of, because I feel like 2 copies is probably a good sweet spot. I don't think you'd want to run 3. I mean, 3 could be really, really bricky. I mean, I do, you know he can be special summoned easily, but you don't want to start with like 3 of them, right? You don't want to draw to him so many early on, right? So, I mean, he's really, really good, though. I mean, as a 1 or a 2 of in a deck for 6 AMs, really, really good because he's so easy to get onto the field. He allows you to swarm. If you're running with the Joey Wheeler field spell skill, he's going to be a 2300 beat stick. I mean, yeah, his defense is low, but like I said, that's really going to matter if you're playing against Econ and your opponent can only run 3 Econ. So, hey, it is what it is, but really, really good you are for sure. All right, we got a new farm card. Great Maju Garzette, single tribute. Basically, he gets double the tribute monster's original attack. So basically, if you like, for example, if you tribute him over a Blue Eyes, just hypothetically, he'd be a 6,000 attack monster, which is really, really cool. So I mean, he could be a really good. He's a really good farm card. He has farm potential, but beyond that, I don't know. Like I said, he could be a good beat stick, but he's going to have 0 defense. He's going to be easy to get over if they can econ you into defense. If they econ take you, they can actually use him against you for game. So, I mean, he's a very risky card to use in PvP because the fact his own effect kind of can work against him because the fact that he can boost himself to such a high attack power. Like I said, econ take, and they could take you out with your own monster for game with just, you know, ramming you with just one of these. I mean, his attack is going to be so high. But farm-wise, I think he's going to be really, really cool with farming. I can't wait to see what some of you come up with farm deck-wise. But anyways, not a great as a UR. He's more or less, he's really a rare and SR at tops in my eyes. But nonetheless, he is a UR in this box set. But he's not something I would chase more than one of. I don't even really think I'd even really want to go for one of them. But hey, you know, if you get it, you get it. Just don't be trying to chase him down. There's no point. There's just no point. He's a really good farm card. Other than that, I don't think he's going to see too much play in PvP. Because he's too much risk, not enough reward with that kind of card. Alright, we got DD Assailant, which is another one of those URs that is borderline, I think, could be really, really good. Because it's a warrior effect, 4-star earth attribute, 1700 attack, 1600 defense. Stats aren't too bad. I like the defense and attack almost around the same, which is always nice. It allows you to play a little bit more versatility with a card. You can play in defense or attack position. And again, with the Joey Wheeler field spell, that could be a 2k attack monster with 1900 defense. That's not bad, honestly, especially when it has this effect. After damage calculation, when this card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, banish that monster. Also banish this card. Now that is important because there are other cards in this box set that allow you to bring back banished monsters. And banishing monsters right now in the current meta is super, super good. Because just simply destroying an opponent's monster and put it in the graveyard isn't necessarily going to do enough against some of the current meta like Amazonas or even Sylvans or Fiends, anything like that, because they can somehow still get stuff back, recycle stuff from the graveyard. So banishing their monster is clutch. Very, very clutch. So that's awesome. Not bad at all. Very good card. this is one of those cards that you could actually go for 2 or 3 of, because of course since they're a 4-star, they won't break you or anything like that, and their ability is really, really good. You can play this card in attack position, set position, it doesn't matter. The card can do a lot for you, so really, really good card. This is probably, like I said, with this and the 6 Sam, and I think one more card we're going to be talking about, which I believe is a spell card, those are probably the better URs in this entire box. So far, I'm still very unimpressed with this box set, though. But still, it does have a couple decent URs so far. Alright, we got the Firestorm Monarch. I'm not going to talk about that. That's in the selection box. This card's already been out before. I'm not even going to get into that. The Dark Creator. This card is very situational. And I feel like there's already better cards in the game. He's got really good defense, of course. I mean, 3K defense is nothing to, you know, look over, but, he's a Thunder effect, cannot be normal summoned, set, must first be special summoned from your hand by having 5 or more dark monsters in your graveyard while you control no monsters. So you can't control nothing. So, right off the bat, you're thinking, what's the best deck this card would be in? Archfiends, because that's the only deck realistically right now that can even compete in the current meta, or even really on any kind of competitive level in ranked PvP, and be able to get 5 dark monsters in your graveyard easily with no monsters on, you know, on your field. That's like the only deck you can really twist and turn around right now that can actually make this card work. And even then, this is going to be super situational. I just don't think it's a great card. I just don't think it's a great card at all. It does have a second effect, though. You can banish 1 dark monster from your graveyard to target 1 dark monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. Now, being able to do that is great, but here is the problem. The Archfiend deck, as is, already does that for itself. It doesn't need this guy in the deck to do it for it. Because it can already do it itself. You know, Archfiend Emperor and Lord of Horror and all that, they're basically already doing those types of things for themselves. They don't need the Dark Creator to do it, because the Dark Creator can actually just go into your deck and actually break your synergy that you already have. There's just no point running the Dark Creator, because besides him being a good defensive you know, card that he just sits there and helps you try and buy yourself some time, he's not really going to do you much anything offensively. And as you guys know, the Archfiend deck is an offensive heavy deck. They go in, they blow up your cards with Lord of Horror, and then they attack you for game with Empress and stuff like that. And you just don't need this card in that deck. It'll just ruin the deck. It won't make it better. It'll make it more inconsistent, basically. It's just, this card's not good in my opinion at all. Alright, now this was, I believe, the last UR that I'm actually happy about in this box set for you guys. Nobleman of Crossout. Target 1 face-down monster on the field, destroy that target. If you do, banish it. That, right off the bat, instantly kill Komashrumo, right? That's what a lot of you are already thinking. Kill Komashrumo, GG, right? Because Sylvans are definitely still one of the biggest cancers right now in the game. This also works against Gear Gaia, stuff like that. I mean, this is a very good card with that effect alone. However, it goes further. Then, if it was a flip monster, each player reveals their main deck, then banishes all cards from it with that monster's name. Now, of course, Komashrumo is not technically a flip monster, unfortunately. Otherwise, that would be awesome. Like, we actually went over this in the Discord yesterday about that. But if you are playing against a deck where I believe some of the Gear Gaia monsters are flip monsters, I believe maybe 1 or 2. I don't completely remember. They may not be. I might. You guys could correct me in the comment section. That's fine. But that secondary effect could be clutch, depending on, of course, what kind of deck you're playing against. Unfortunately, it won't kill off all 3 Komashrumos or whatever possibly in a user's deck, which would be great as a Sylvan killer, but still nonetheless a very strong card. And it could see, this is like a future-proof card. This is one of those cards that when we start getting more and more flip effect monsters in the game, as time goes on, this card will become more and more deadly. So, very, very good UR. I don't think you need 3 of this. 2 of them should be good. That's probably the sweet spot. You might not want to run 3 of these, but 2 is definitely a good sweet spot number. So, of all the URs we've seen so far, only about 3 of them are good, in my opinion, worth going for, worth investing for, while the others are just very lackluster. Uh, we also have DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation, which is okay as well. It's basically a better premature burial, I believe, with the whole just bringing back a banished monster. So nothing really too special there. But like I said, this could work with, some of the other cards like the Noble Knight or whatever that we talked about earlier. Things like that. This could work with, but it's nothing special, nothing amazing, nothing game changing right now. Still a very good card, just nothing I would really try and go for. Alright, now we got Zing Zang Hu Replica. Now this one is a weird one because this is not a bad card, but we already got a card in the game that's kind of already like this, and that's Fire Formation Gyaku. Now, of course, this card works a little bit differently than Gyaku. See, the thing with Gyaku is they could still chain another card. Wow, if you play this, they can't chain nothing. It just shuts down all that. However, where they kind of even each other out is Gyaku can be played instantly because it's a spell card, while Zing Zang Hu Replica is a trap card, so you have to wait a turn to play it. So that's kind of where you find the balance between the two. If you really want to run some crazy back row, hey, you could run 3 of each, and then you're like, oh man, complete back row lockdown, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're running a deck that don't rely on back row, you're just going in with beat sticks. You could run these as full lockdowns, man. That would be crazy, like very tilty, but would be kind of funny at the same time. But yeah, this card is kind of like on the same level as Gyaku, and Gyaku is already an SR and easier to obtain. So if you guys already got 3 Gyakus, you probably don't even really need to invest on trying to get Zing Zang Hu Replica. But Replica, don't think I'm hating on the card. This card is still really, really good. It's just we already have Gyaku, and Gyaku is easier to get. I believe, Gyaku's in like a mini box, so it's easier to get already, and it's an SR, so you can get 2 of them through each run of the box instead of only 1. So having 3 copies of Gyaku, especially since it's a searchable card, especially if you're running a hazy deck and stuff like that with other Fire Formation monsters, I mean, it just makes that card better than this card in my opinion. This card, like I said, has that little bit of a difference in where it just doesn't let your opponent chain anything, but it's still a trap, so you still have to wait a turn to play it, so it kind of evens out. And like I said, Gyaku being searchable and everything else working in a hazy deck and all that other stuff and being an SR and all that, it just makes that card, in my opinion, better than this card. But still, nonetheless, not a bad card. It's just not something you really need to go in for. Now, we are slowly approaching the 2000 vanilla meta here. Konami's slowly approaching it. We now have a 1950 Evil Swarm, Heliotrope, vanilla 4-star dark. What can I say about it? It's just a big beat stick. It's just a big beat stick with terrible defense. There ain't really much else to say about it. It's an SR as well. So, I mean, if we ever get into like a vanilla meta, like where we start running like big vanilla beat sticks, this card's gonna be good. But we kind of left the vanilla beat stick meta early last year. Early 2007 is kind of when we stopped being in the vanilla beat stick. Back when Jerry Big Man was the big beat stick in the game. We've kind of come and gone past that point, sadly, and I think this card, it's one of those cards that's just a little too late. It's just a little bit too late for Duel Links, but nonetheless, if you're thinking about making some really cool YouTube or fun cheese play decks with vanilla monsters, not a bad pickup, but I want to invest for it, like I said. Alright, Silence from level 5. This one's kind of works in the same way what I said with level 7, except this one doesn't shut down all spell cards like level 7 does. So it makes it even worse than level 7. And another thing is it's just too slow. I think Silent Swordsman is just too slow for the current meta, and I'm just not really a big fan of it right now. I just don't see them being good right now, and I don't really see them being good in the future either, unfortunately. I just think some of these cards were things that should have came a long time ago, and they're just too late. They've come too late into the game. So, I mean, that's just what I have to say about that, unfortunately. I know a lot of people are going to hate on me because they're like, oh man, it's not a Swordsman, man. It's like nostalgia, That's great, but at the end of the day, I'm doing these reviews based on usability in the current game, and it's just not there. Now, we got another Noble Knight, Dristan, SR, 4-star light attribute, 1800 beat stick, 800 defense, warrior effect, of course. While you control another Noble Knight monster, your opponent cannot target your monsters with less than 1800 attack except this card. for attacks or with card effects. Okay, so that's interesting. If a noble arms equipped spell card is equipped to this card, target one face-up card on the field, destroy that target. You can only use this effect in Noble Knight Dristan once per turn. So this Noble Knight is actually better than the other Noble Knight, the UR, which is kind of hilarious. This one is actually better, but it's an SR. So I guess that's a good thing for you guys, especially for your wallet. If you are going into this box set, being able to get the better Noble Knight as an SR opposed to a UR, so you don't have to chase through the box as many times. Because like I said, the other Noble Knight, you could probably run 1 or 2 and you'd be fine. This one, you're probably going to want 3 of, honestly, if you're wanting to run that Noble Knight deck. And like I said, I'm not familiar with the Noble Knight archetype, but this Noble Knight actually seems good. The first one, to me, seemed very lackluster. This one seems really, really good. He has card destruction, and that is always a big thing in Duel Links. Being able to control the board is always a very important step of winning the duel, especially in the current meta where we have Amazonas with their tilty back row, Sylvans with all their special summoning and milling and destroying your cards as well. I mean, having card destruction is very, very important. Now, this card I actually like. This one is a very, very good one, but again, they still suffer from that whole thing of being very low on defense and can be taken out with Econ, but like I said, you could say that for almost nearly 90% of the cards in this game. Econ is just so good. Please nerf Econ. Anyways, let's go to the next one. But yeah, that's definitely an SR so far of what we've discussed to probably try and go in for, try and get 2 or 3 of at least. Especially if you're making the Noble Knight deck. Alright, Steel Swarm Mantis, 5-star Dark Attribute, SR again, Fiend effect, 2200 beat stick, 0 defense. When this card is tribute summoned by attributing a Steel Swarm monster, you can pay 1000 life points to target one Steel Swarm monster in your graveyard, special on that target. So if you're running like a Steel Swarm, if we got enough, I'm not really sure how many we got in this box set, but if there is enough to warrant making a deck around it, then that's not too bad. I mean, it's only a 1,000 life point cost. Unfortunately, you still have to tribute this monster. So, I mean, it kind of sucks a little bit in that regard. You got to kind of do a -1 to get a 1. But what's really cool is if you actually tribute a Steel Swarm monster to bring this out, you can then special summon the Steel Swarm monster that you just used as tribute to basically replenish your resources there. You know, recycle a little bit. I don't know why I said a little bit twice, but so you can do that. I mean, that'd be pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not really too familiar with how good the Steel Swarm is going to be or how many were even in this box. So far, this is the only one we've seen, I believe. But, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's interesting. It's something different. And different isn't always bad. Sometimes it's good and invigorating and brings a little bit more variety to the game. It will be seen in the meta. Probably not. But still could be a fun little deck to play, but not something I'd invest in unless I see more from the box showing that Steel Swarms are going to be a really good deck. But so far, I'm not seeing it. But still pretty interesting nonetheless. Alright, so we got Grand Mark, the Rock Monarch. 2400 beat stick, rock effect, single tribute, of course. Like all the other Monarchs, he does get an effect off. He allows you to destroy back row. That's basically it. We have a lot of cards in the game that can do what he does. So he's nothing special. He's not really game-changing. I guess what's cool with him is if you run Soul Exchange to use this guy, you could technically make your opponent have a -2 on their board. Because you could take their monster with Soul Exchange, bring out the Monarch, and then, of course, destroy a set card at the same time. So, I mean, you got that. The only problem I have with some of these cards like this is there's a lot of Providence going around in the game right now. A lot of Divine Wrath going on in the game right now. And, yeah, and I just... I don't know. It could be bad. It could be bad. Also, the fact that, really, the cards you're going to be playing the most right now in the current meta, again, we keep talking about this, but it's Sylvans and Amazonas, and if Sylvans don't really run back row except for Providence, which would then kill this guy anyway, otherwise you're going to run into an Amazonas player, and if you destroy their Onslaught while they have an Amazonas in the graveyard, and if it's a queen, they could just special summon that, and then you're screwed. You basically help them out, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't see how. I don't really think this card's great, but like I said, if you're running with Soul Exchange, you could have, of course, be a -2 on your opponent's board, which could still swing the game your way. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. You're definitely gonna have to run like 3 of him though if you're running that type of deck, because you're gonna want consistency, of course. All right, we got Berlineth, the Firestorm Vassal, 3-star fire attribute, 800 attack, 1000 defense. You can discard 1 card, special summon this card from your hand. This card also was here before, so I'm not really going to talk about this card much either. But a lot of people like to use this with Hazy, because, anything that you can do to special summon quickly. But a lot of people are kind of phasing this out with Dynetherium, so I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. For you Hazy players out there, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Answer me in the comment section what you guys think. Do you feel that Dynetherium is better than Firestorm Vassal, or Firestorm Vassal is better than Dynetherium? For Hazy players only, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I can't wait to hear what you guys' thoughts are on that. Alright. Spirit of Flames, 4-star, Pyro effect, 1700, 1000 defense, fire attribute of course. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 fire monster from your graveyard. This card gains 300 attack during your battle phase only. So, basically, if you draw into this guy like early game, you got a dead card, because until you get a fire monster in your graveyard, this guy is going to be just chilling in your hand. Now, is that a bad thing? It could be, but it could also be a good thing, because this card also allows you in mid to late game to have a potential 2k beater during the battle phase that can be special summoned or even possibly be swarmed. Now, what's cool about Spirit of the Flames, coming back to the Hazy thing, this card can be played in a Hazy deck. You can play this card in a Hazy deck, because you're playing with all fire monsters anyway to get Hazy's effect off. You're playing with a lot of monsters already anyway. And this gives you a free special summon, which could be really good to use as fodder to get out of Hazy. So this actually, we're going to have to change up our question. We're going to have to change up our question now. Spirit of the Flames, Dynetherium, or Firestorm Vassal. What is your guys' favorite special summon monster that you could use potentially in a Hazy deck? Would you run 2 of the 3? Would you run all 3? Would you run only 1? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about that, because all 3 of those cards is actually good for Hazy. Actually, Hazy's got a lot of good special summoning fodder working in its favor now. So I could see a lot of Hazy players actually getting a little bit, a smile on their face with this box set, because it's bringing you a couple cards that you could possibly use. Alright. Secret 6 Samurai Rihan, I'm sorry. SR, it's a 5-star fusion, and it's not an easy fusion. You need 1 of each attribute. It has to be 3, I'm sorry, not 1 of each, but you need 1 of 3 different attributes on the field of a 6 Samurai to even summon this guy. And that right off the bat, nah. As you guys know, I'm not a big fan of fusion meta at all in this game. Anki is an outlier, because Anki can be special summoned with a single card, and his effects are completely godlike. He's a god tier fusion when it comes to the current, meta and the current cards in the game. And even himself has not lasted all that long in the current meta. You see them pop up here and there every once in a while, but the meta is definitely dictated by Sylvan's Amazonas right now, which are 2 free-to-play metas, which is funny, because that means we're probably going to be dipping into a pay-to-win meta soon. But I feel like this card just isn't that great. It's not good at all, in my opinion. I don't think anybody will ever use it. You might see people here and there on the ladder give it a shot just to try it out, because it's a new card, but I don't think it's going to do anything. It sure as hell isn't a game changer. I just don't see it doing much of anything, guys, honestly. So we're just going to go ahead and just go right on over that. Alright. Special Hurricane. Can this card change the meta? Possibly. Possibly. I was kind of talking about this card with some of the fellow Discord members. And if you have not joined the Discord, do so below. Shameless plug, it's fine. Discard one card from your hand. Destroy all special summon monsters on the field. Now, what does this do? This does a lot. Let me tell you why. You could run this in an Amazonas deck. Okay? You could run this in a Sylvan deck. And you can use it against each other. You could run this in literally any deck in the game. And it will still do a big job in terms of trying to help you win the duel. Because this literally kills all the special summon monsters from Sylvans. Completely nukes their board. If you're special summoning monsters yourself, this might not be a card that you want to run because you're going to end up nuking your own monsters. But if you're not running special summon monsters, which is most like... I think with Amazonas it'd be a little bit tough because you do like to sometimes special summon from your hand with Onslaught. But depending on how you work that around, Special Hurricane can be really strong for an Amazonas deck. Now... this card against Sylvans is extremely deadly. This literally just kills Sylvans. They are shit out of luck if they get hit with a Special Hurricane. Because you just took out their Guardioak. You just took out their Carrot. You just took out their Hermitry. I mean, you just completely nuked the field. And it'd be very devastating for a Sylvan player to come back from something like that. Special Hurricane could be extremely deadly. Now, how could you use it as a Sylvan player? Simple. Discard a Rose Lover. Discard a Carrot. Pop Special Hurricane. Bam. Life is easy. Life is easy if you do that with Special Hurricane. Not only did you just clear your opponent's board, especially in a mirror match, you basically just put one or two cards in the grave that you needed to be there to then start your play to go off on your opponent. Very deadly card. Very deadly. Alright, now we got Recurring Nightmare. Select 2 dark monsters with 0 defense in your graveyard and return them to your hand. This could be really good in an Archfiend deck. You know, anytime you see anything to do with dark monsters, most people always associate that with Fiends, Archfiends, because that's really what people are running right now. So, that's basically what you use that for. Not a bad card. Could be useful in certain situations. You never know. Always being able to reload your hand. This could also be good in a, having a brain fart, guys. Having a brain fart. Yep, I can't think of it right now. I cannot believe I'm having a brain fart. I do apologize, guys. But, the dark monster, the Fiend that lets you keep nuking your hand to destroy cards on the field. I don't know why the name left my brain, but it's not there. Wow. Major brain fart, guys, but I know you guys know what I'm talking about. But this could be added fuel to your hand. You could just keep replenishing that fuel and just keep nuking the board. Wow. I don't know why I'm having such a brain fart with that card, but you guys know which one I'm talking about. But yeah, Recurring Nightmare could be really good fuel for that deck for sure. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, moving along. By order of the Emperor, Continuous Trap. When a monster effect is activated, that activates when a monster is normal summoned. You can negate the activation, then the player whose effect activation was negated draws one card. Terrible card. Terrible card because, like I said, in the current meta, this is just going to get you nowhere. You're going to keep giving your opponent free card draws. And that's not going to help you because you're giving them draw power. Now, if you're trying to make a mill deck, sure. But, I mean, against the current meta like a Sylvans, this card is just too slow. This card will just get you killed, especially if they use a Rose Lover and this card don't even work on that turn anyway. I mean, you're just, it's not great. It's just not great. Is that the last SR? No, we got Escalation of the Monarchs. Continuous Trap card. Once per turn, during your opponent's main phase of your opponent's battle phase, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, tribute summon one monster. Now, this is going to be pretty cool. And the reason why they call it Escalation of the Monarchs is ideally you'd want to use this with a Monarch, because then you can get your Monarch's effect off on your opponent's turn if you really want to, especially if they just set a face-down card with the new Monarch. You could just quickly tribute summon during their battle phase, and then boom, pop their back row that they just set. So it could be very interesting. You could use this with other tribute monsters that have special effects as well when they're summoned to the field. So pretty cool trap there. And it's a continuous trap, so of course you can continuously keep using it once per turn. So it's really, that's actually a pretty cool trap, but I don't know how much mileage you're going to get out of it unless you're running a really heavy tribute deck, which you don't see too many of those really wandering around right now in the game. But nonetheless, pretty cool. Not something I'd really chase more than maybe one of, but still pretty cool nonetheless. And that takes us down to the rares, which that rare is actually pretty good. 1800 attack and defense. That's pretty good stats in my book. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for our box set review here of the SR and URs and stuff like that. I wasn't sure if I was going to do the review or not, but I said, you know what? I told my fans, even if I don't play Duel Links again, which I'm still pondering over, that I would still try to do the box set reviews for you guys. So I held true to that, and I did it here today. I did the leaks for it the other day. So I hope you guys did enjoy my Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Crusader Battlegrounds box set review. If you guys want to catch some more content here on the channel, we're going to be playing Dragon Ball Legends, Pokemon whenever it releases, and, you know, whatever other various things we do here on the channel. Be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new to become an Impact Player today. Join our Discord in the description below, and comment below what you guys think about these cards, or anything in here that you guys really like. Do you agree or disagree with some of the things I said with some of the cards? Are there some cards in here that are your favorite? Let me know all that good stuff in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day and a great weekend wherever you guys are. Until then, peace.